The Scale Podcast, episode number, is it 5?
It's 5.
Okay, shit, I need to do that again. The Scale Podcast, episode 5. Let's get it.
Episode 5.
We're inside, baby.
Ooh.
We back.
Yeah.
What's going on, Silas Beats?
Hey, man. I'm digging the response we had on the last episode.
People are loving it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We need to do a follow-up and just read the comments. Yeah, and read them and respond. But we'll
okay.
We'll see that out.
That's very meta. That's like a comment on the comments about the thing that we're doing.
Free content.
Yeah.
Free content.
Yeah.
So what's going on, brother? Let's chop it up. What I have a few things I want to start on. Do you want to start or should I rock it?
Nah. You start off.
Biggest story of the week: the psalmists.
Mm-hmm.
The psalmists. People aren't happy.
Of course.
People are not happy about the nominations.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of them? How are you feeling?
I've seen quite a few of them. I don't pay a lot of attention to them, but I've seen a lot more of the comments. People talking about how they're upset about this. Then obviously the opposing views. There are a couple of people who are kind of just on the fence, and there's other people who are like, look, keep quiet. It's nice when you post. Yeah. It's nice when you're winning. Or it's nice when you're nominated. And you keep quiet when you're nominated. But when you're not, then you want to make a noise. So I've seen it all.
I just have a big problem with us not taking the psalmist seriously anymore. Let's start there. Before nominations, people are just like, this is not a credible award, award show, award ceremony, so to speak. And it's not healthy, bro, for the game. It's really not healthy because that's supposed to be our premium, award ceremony and award body. So, number one, if people are questioning the credibility, we're in big trouble, bro. But now, do you think, what was that? Did you hear that? Anyway, sorry. Anyway, do you think people are valid? Like the concerns are valid of people claiming that people are now buying awards and all of that?
I feel like that was the case a while back. I mean, you speak about credibility of the awards, and I think, it's been like that for many years now. People look at the awards and they're like, so-and-so bought it, so-and-so got it. And this is not the only awards. I think the metros as well. There's a bunch of times when people have said that other people are doing stuff. There's hearsay and whatnot. But the credibility of awards, I think in general, have been questioned. Already in the States, you've seen how people how they respond to nominations and being invited. For them, it's a bigger thing, being invited to perform and just being invited in general. Yes, but for us, it's more of a thing of how did that person get there, but then the other person didn't. And I think that then boils down to the process. I think as time has gone on, back in the day, we were happy to hear, so-and-so was nominated. You don't know how it was. You don't know how they got to that result. You just figured, I'm being acknowledged. And there weren't as many places for people to go and protest. Not everybody had their platform. So if an artist back in the day, say a WHP wanted to complain, sure, there was Twitter, sure, there were all these things, but we weren't on it like we are now. Now there's platforms on platforms on platforms, and people are keen to talk. So I think it's a case of now people want to know why. Okay, Shab, so-and-so was nominated. Why them and not those people? Why? Yeah. Now we're asking why. And I think that's slowly, it's making the whole thing crumble apart, because when they explain, look, I don't know what the selection process is, but when they explain, they're saying it's a board of people who are sitting and choosing. But now we want to know, what's the criteria? Is it sales? What's it exactly? Yeah.
I stand to be corrected, but I had a glance at that criteria, and they were saying stuff like needed to be released between a certain time last year or a certain time last year, something like that, and then it needs to be in the top 20.
Top 20 of what?
Of the charts, of the Rams charts.
Okay,
cool. But now for a country like ours, where radio play is already tricky, to put it nicely. We can't now be basing award winners on a compromised system.
Yes.
And also, there's no point of, how do I say, no one's auditing RAMs, bro. Like, there's only one singular source of information, you know. And I think if we had a secondary chart or a secondary, you know, a curator or radio play monitoring something, that would go a long way. And I mean, this is not a new thing. I mean, even on the podcast, they had mentioned that I think it was Ms. Cosmo or Fiji, who was like, we need another one. We can't just have just RAMs and like how sure are we that information is accurate? And then now also another thing is that to play the devil's advocate, it can't be the system all the time. Like sometimes you need to be straight up and be like, yo man, you can feel like your album is the best of 2019 or 20 whatever, but it just doesn't hit the criteria. Maybe you're too much with the sales, but you didn't spin on radio. Or maybe you're too much with the buzz, but that buzz didn't translate into sales. Or you know what I mean? Or like maybe your standard of measuring it was not necessarily the standard that the awards used. Because I mean, people like Elaine were nominated. And I mean, Elaine was a breakout star, you know what I mean? She basically owned the newcomer space, you know? So for her to be nominated is like, that makes sense.
Yes.
So if there are people like her who are nominated, then it's not as quote unquote rigged as people are making it out to be.
Certain aspects of it.
Yeah, certain aspects of it. So it's like, where do we now draw the line and say, that one is not a real thing and this one is a real thing?
Yeah. It's so tough. It's so tough to say because a lot of the people who speak are the ones who speak out are the ones who didn't get. It's rare that you find someone who was nominated who is like, but the system is trash. Yeah. It happens, but it's rare that it happens. And if that happens, that person is usually then blackballed or then there's a black dot next to their name for next time. And then that happens. That's what happens to them. So it's difficult. It's difficult to say how much of that is credible. I'm of the opinion that these awards are given power by the people who consume them. So those people who want the ones who are saying, why wasn't I nominated? They cared to begin with. They wanted this thing. They wanted, and it's the thing. It's a childhood. It's a childhood South African musician's dream. First to get the Sama, then we might get a Metro before we on our way to the Grammy. There's that trajectory that they want, and in doing that, they give that thing power. So imagine you like your master, but you don't like your master. So you want approval from this thing. You want approval from the summers. You want it to happen.
But when you don't get it,
you've got the problem. So people, they need to choose. Do you want that? Because I see who's this that spoke out? Nadia Nakai, and how Casper also backed her up. I understand that Sharp, you can start asking questions like you can go and nitpick. Are there females in the board? My album did really, really well. You can nitpick on all of these things, and I'm sure there's countless other points that you can nitpick on. But you already know the system is flawed. What are you doing? What are you going to become a part of the system? If you really, really want that approval, do you not then say, I know the system is flawed. I'm going to sell my soul just for a bit to cover this. Let me get this milestone out the way. It's that, or then you have to, it's either that or you are just like an Elaine and you make it so undoubtable. Like imagine Elaine did not get a nomination. Then we as random start asking questions.
My problem is now the fact that we can have this conversation and acknowledge that we are living and operating within a corrupt entertainment industry. That is my problem. It cannot be acceptable that we are acknowledging and like sort of condoning by mere fact of discussing it that this is the game. You understand? This is the setup of the industry.
Yeah.
And it's if you're gonna cheat people, bro, cheat properly. I mean, a good example is Master KG. Bro, that Jerusalem song is knocking the whole world. Give him Song of the Year, or like at least nominate the bro. Even if you have your winners already, nominate them so it's like
there's something bro, there.
Like, yeah, there's something to throw the people off. You can't now discard people who have a voice, like you're saying, who have a platform. You know what I mean? And you can't expect now people also to compromise themselves just to win your award. If I'm charting in France, bro, Master KG's Jerusalem Original is number 2 in France. Number 2. They can't hear what he's saying. He's number 2 in another space, in a whole different space than to what we're crying for here. And I mean, if that doesn't justify a nomination, not an award, a nomination. Come on, man.
Hey.
Come on.
Also,
like,
if
you're gonna hack properly, though.
Make it believable. So maybe their board, whatever their board is doing, is not the one. But then also, I must say, from if I can just pull back, because now there's a bigger issue at hand. Now we're talking about the entire music industry being corrupt, and we're operating within it. Unfortunately, we are in Africa. This is what we do. But if you look at, we can get back to that just now. But I just wanted to speak about the eligibility of being nominated for a summer. Some of the artists that I work with that are very well known know that the summers exist. They want to be a part of the summers, but unfortunately, they haven't taken the simple steps of maybe being a part of RISA.
Yeah.
Simple things like that. And you mentioned Master KG. I was speaking to a boy of mine, and we were talking about unclaimed royalties, which is another thing. Sorry, I'm pulling us a little bit. I'll bring it back.
No, let's grow. Let's grow. Talk. Don't
so we were talking about unclaimed royalties and how people cry about that. There was an email that went out from Capasso during this week of unclaimed royalties for Capasso's royalties, which are mechanical royalties. Mechanical royalties are paid out for anything that is where your music is synced to something else. Né? So your music is, say, synced to a video, or it's on streaming platforms. So they put out a document of undocumented works or unclaimed works. And it's free for everybody to see. And you can go through that list.
And see if
your song is there. So I saw that there were a few of my songs that were there. So I hit up those artists and I was like, hey, are you a part of Capasso? Most of them were like, no, I'm not a part of Capasso. Or no, I haven't notified that song. There were Master KG tracks in there, in that very list. There were a lot of artists. I wish, actually, can I pull it up here?
Pull it up.
If I can pull this thing up.
To do on the show.
Yeah, there must be files. There must be files so people can see what's up. So let me see, notification of works. Here we go.
I think this episode is just going to be the Summer Awards, bro. I think
it's chill.
Sit down and chop it up. But I know you've got fire points on your side, but we'll see how it goes.
No, it's chilled. It's chilled. Let me see. Here we go. It's loading up. So I'm going to come back and just share my screen. Here we go. So you'll be able to cut this out, but then just so we can use it later on. So this is it's active works that have not been either claimed or whatever the case might be. And you see there's big names here.
Is that what Pori and Kabza?
You see, and this list is long, and this is in South Africa. Oh, Capasso covers Southern Africa, so this is happening in multiple countries.
Mcimbini is not registered.
Yeah, for mechanical. Yes, for mechanicals. So they've done the Samro stuff, but they haven't come back to do this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this is a long list. There's a lot of guys that I know that are here.
Black Motion, Makazi was one of the people that complained.
You see, but now this is what I'm saying. This is what I was gonna circle back to that and say that people are complaining about things, but certain things don't add up. They don't match up. So they'll complain that I'm not nominated here. I'm not recognized here. But if we backtrack and we go back to the absolute fundamentals, there's things that are just not right, like this here.
I
So
need to
now,
snap this, bro.
oh snap,
Oh,
snap.
where'd you kill it? Where'd you kill it? Put it up.
I'll send you the document, but don't worry. But I
So
think
this is a list of songs that are not notified with Capasso.
yeah.
Wow, they're big names on here, man. And now when they complain about awards, it's like, gents.
Exactly. So now when you want to start counting numbers, when you want to start being able to say, but my track did this many numbers.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult when you aren't like, get your house in order before you step forward. And then you jump on Twitter and then you're going at people. So for me, it's a major thing that sure, we're operating within an industry where things are not dope, they're not savory, but it's a lot better. Can I just say that it's a lot better here than it is in other African countries? We already have it a lot better.
We have a commercialized industry for one, like
exactly
actual,
which is comparable with other industries around the world, not just Africa. So we should at least do the very least on our side as individuals, get our houses in order, and then then we can start talking about who does not deserve what. But I can't take, what I was trying to get at is that I can't take him seriously. I can't take them seriously if we come back here and we see that the basics, fam. What else hasn't happened?
These people are just sleeping on money. Like there's money right there for them.
To be collected. It's not to be earned.
To be collected, yeah.
Exactly. And this is it's happening at Samurai as well. I try to contact them for their undocumented works, but theirs is insane. Theirs is billions. I can imagine it's billions of unclaimed royalties. And all they need to do is keep quiet for a few years and then you can no longer claim them. So those people are also complaining, man, but my song is going on. And then come time for awards.
Have you registered? Yeah.
Jerusalem might have been yours, but was it yours in Angola? Was it yours in, exactly. Was it yours in South Africa? Was it yours? So
true. Wow, bro. Like you actually just blew my mind. I mean, these are industry heavyweights who have been in the game. And I mean, because I follow Maporisa, he posted out a tweet and said, I know the game backwards. Me, I know the game. This is an actual tweet. You know what? I will try and put it on the screen.
Yeah, right here.
He tweeted right about here. He's like, I know the game. And for someone, wow, bro. This is, that's crazy.
And it's big, bruh. It's big. A lot of the stuff that I speak about on my small little, my small platforms here and there, I sometimes look at that information of mine and I'm like, yeah, man, but I'm sure people don't believe me. Because they'll then go to a very reputable source like Maporisa or the Popcast or people who they know are in the game. They are deep in the game. Podcast. Or the Scale podcast. And then they hear us talking about stuff and they're like, hi man, but Silas said that this and this and this and this on that side there. Now I can produce documents. The thing that I've never seen from a Maporisa or anybody is them putting, I want to see the Popcast. I want to see them bringing in the experts, bring in the documents, bring in the thing
because these are certified documents. This is not hearsay. We are actually evaluating published information.
Exactly. So I want them to, this is the information where we can now we can gather the information and it's no longer just a tweet. Because some of before I jumped on here, I looked at some of the articles and the articles will always talk about how Nadia Nakai took to Twitter and then Casper backed him up.
And
then this happened.
Said,
So that for me is not credible. That's why I look at it. I'm like, okay, sharp. I get that they're angry. If we can even take it back to a few months ago when Moonchild was also upset, and there's multiple situations where we can pull up people who got upset, took to Twitter, made a very dope video or a very dope post calling out the system, but you can't call out the system when you don't have the documents and stuff. So that's why I don't. Their hearts are in the right place, but
I have the category rules and regulations here. Let me share it.
Okay, let me just
disable sharing. But
man, I didn't enable sharing. Don't say like I did. That's enabled now. It's enabled.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Cool. Can you see?
Yeah, I see them.
Okay, cool. Album of the year. The award will go to artists whose entries and album, in the opinion Opinion of the judges.
Yeah.
Opinion of the judges. What the fuck?
It's by its excellence, regardless of its genre.
The thing is, who deems something excellent? Let's start there. Who is the guy that says, yo, excellence means this?
Exactly.
You understand?
It's a very subjective. They have to have
subjective
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nadia would be fighting here for female artists. Okay.
But then let's have a look at that.
The word will go to solo female recording artist whose entry is an album that, in the opinion of the judges,
is by its excellence.
Oh, bro. Okay. Regardless of the genre, better than any other album by a solo female artist entered into the 26th annual SA Music Awards. Mate, opinion of the judges.
Yes. To say that it is excellent or
judges.
better.
No, bro.
Are there any I haven't been through this list, but are there any categories where there is, it's not an opinion, but it's based on a metric?
Yeah, it looks like from about newcomer opinion of the, so male artist of the year, newcomer. So of the year is basically opinionated, and then the best what album for artists who perform. I think this is more open-ended. But for best where is it? Best R&B. For best R&B, because I saw Elaine was nominated and her manager is on my WhatsApp. And he posted the original flyer where they say, yo, you're nominated, what. And then I was so excited. I screenshot it, I posted on my, and I'm like, yo, guys, let's do this. He was also like posting, yo, guys, let's vote, whatever. And then afterwards, he came back to say, yo, there's no voting. It's by the opinion of, come on, bro, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We really can't do that. But like, I feel like if we're going to do that, at least let the opinion grant the nominations.
Yeah, okay. But
yeah, because now the opinion is the end all and be all. You know what I mean? At least if give us the illusion of choice. You know what I mean? Give us the like the illusion of choice, because now a group of people are gonna sit down and say, okay, let's rock. Then Silas says, oh, I think for best newcomer of the year, let's go with Costa Teach. And me, because Costa Teach ran over my cat the other day. I'm like, nah, not Costa.
I don't like the guy.
Yeah, I don't like the guy. So you can't do that, bro.
And they will claim that it's panels of experts, but I have been on panels of experts. As a musician, as a physiotherapist, I've been on panels of experts, and I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what type of panel it is. They are there. You are there as an expert because you have an expert opinion, not because you can pull up. It's rare that they want you there because you can pull up the most facts. They want to hear what you have to say about
what you have to say about it.
Yeah.
And if your specific say is inspired or funded by so-and-so records or so-and-so, come on.
You're covered.
This is very backwards, bro.
Can you have a look at that can you bring up that hip-hop one again? I saw that one. The others all had very short, you just have to perform that genre. But I saw that the hip-hop one is a little bit more in-depth. So it says...
this category for artists who produce and or perform music identifiable to the hip-hop subculture, including rap, trap, and all other subgenres. All entered albums should meet the vocal performance quota of 70% of the tracks on them. Licensed tracks that are not produced and or performed by the artist entered should not form more than 30%. So I'm guessing this is your samples or something. A declaration indicating, the licensed tracks on the album should be submitted when entering. Entrants should know that judges will only consider the tracks performed and or composed and or by the artist in question when adjudicating the album.
So there had to be a little bit more in-depth there. Yeah. Because there's a whole subculture.
But this. Come on, dog.
Yeah.
Whose entry is an album that, in the opinion of the judges, is by its excellence, regardless of its genre. Come on. Then why do people watch it? Why don't we just call it the Judges Awards?
Yeah.
Once.
So there's that, and then I'm also thinking now, if we're talking about awards, I'm thinking about the hip hop awards themselves. We struggle because I've tried entering myself. There's no way. I'm not the commercial guy. I'll never get it. That much I know.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like I'm being defeatist, but I understand. I understand the way the things.
You understand the dynamics.
I understand the dynamics. So for the other artists that I've seen apply or enter, they enter themselves or they get their team to enter them. I look also and I'm like, okay, sharp. So now we need votes. So now they do the whole SMSing system where you SMS in, SMS this to whatever, and cast your vote. And then you see how much the vote counts for. When you look at the fine print, you see the votes, they are being considered, but there's that opinion of
the fucking judges.
Exactly.
And that
weighs a lot heavier than any voting system that they can be. So this is why I'm saying, for the people who understand the dynamic of this system, if you really want to be a part of it and you understand that for your trajectory or your vision board, you have to get a SAMA. At this point, for me, I'm thinking, get a SAMA by any means necessary. At this point here, why are we asking questions? If they understand.
But the thing is, now, bro, we're taking away from the sanctity and like the whole point, bro. What's the point is my question right now. Because if I work so hard, bro, to compile a great album, 4 guys in a boardroom are going to be like, we don't feel that.
One of them knows one of your family. Yeah.
You understand? So like if 4 guys are just sitting in a room with like a shock speaker or a home theater system connected to a flat screen TV. And I mean, come on. We can't do that. We can't do that.
So having said that, do you have an opinion about the credibility? I think you've been answering this question, but do you have an opinion? If I had to say to you, how do you feel about the SAMAs?
Pointless. Now that I've read that, pointless. Like you're saying, as a producer myself and as an artist myself, I've dreamt of winning the SAMAs, right? But now that I see that, okay, let me take back pointless. It's subjective, bro. It's really subjective. It's really biased. I think that's a better word. Like it's very the margin of winning is so slim. You know what? And one could say that breeds excellence because people like Elaine, because she's been a constant example throughout this episode, her work is excellent. It's beautiful, right? And I mean, for them to have such slim margins is encouraging work like that. That's great. But on the other hand, we're not very open, bro. It's not very inclusive. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. The awards are not inclusive, bro. They're really not inclusive because no one else is included. Opinion of the judges, that is really rubbing me up the wrong way, bro.
Hey, man, it's hurting you, man.
Bro, opinion of the... Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. We can't do that.
So if you could restructure it, let's say, you get to play the guy, Mr. Hip Hop for the day, and you get to restructure the system.
Let's split in the middle, bro. Let's split in the middle. Well, I wonder if we're going to... let me not even discredit the opinion of the judges. My problem is there's too much weight on the opinion of the judges. There's way too much weight on the opinion of the judges because if they don't relate, connect, or just feel your music, then it's not considered award worthy. Do you understand? Whereas music is a very personal thing, bro. It's a very personal thing. So if I have my niche following and they can prove that I'm the best newcomer by supporting me and casting their votes to show that there's an actual market and actual consumers of this product or of this music, then we're moving towards somewhere. Because I mean, an award is people celebrating you, right? I understand that we can't take the views of all 59 million people of the country.
Yeah.
So we have to pick a select few who will go about representing us. That works. What doesn't work for me is the fact that that sample is the end all and be all. I know we selected them and put them there, but they can't be the final say. Those people represent the population to a certain extent, but let's include the population as well. Because I mean, what if the people, why are the people who are consuming this music daily not allowed to be like, no, not this guy, this guy. You understand? Not that guy, this guy. So that's my only problem with it, because people are now not engaging. You know what I mean? They are not engaging. It's just like we gather around, we look at people saying, okay, these are the best artists in the country. Bye. It's not what do you guys think? What do you know? It's like, yo, these are the best people in the country. Bye.
And that's what we want. 2020. We want to be I want to be heard.
Be part of these awards, bro. We want to be heard. Like you're saying, we have platforms now to voice ourselves and be like, yo, what's going on? What's really going on? Because the culture and the history of the summers, like you pointed out, is very crucial to South African musicians. Let's not even lie. It's crucial. I will take it personally. If I'm a Master KG, a Nadia Nakai, whoever was not nominated, because I have a visible and notable imprint in the South African music industry. Yeah. And for the South African Music Awards not to recognize...
not even award you, just to recognize.
Yeah, recognize, bro. Nominate me, then rob me in the end, bruh. It's fine.
Yeah.
You nominated me. You understand? Yeah. You are like, okay, I see you, but the mandate of this award is that bro there. So I see you. Shout out. But your label is not pushing as much as that label is saying. This is the reason we need to win.
You know, as you're speaking now, I'm thinking to myself that this is not a bad... I'm just thinking from a really, really bird's eye view situation. This is not a bad thing for us. This shows that it shows that our industry is growing. Before, the industry was very, very closed. It was very much, if you're going to get to that point there, you're going to go viral. We know that the world was like this. Your record label, your big indies, they were the ones who would then catapult you to a place where you had the numbers to be able to be entered into that conversation of saying, I'm ready. My work is ready. Enough people have seen it. People are vibing with it. Look at my sales. Everything is covered. Rams, we are good. I'm now considered for the conversation. Our industry, as you've had the advent of all of these, your Ambitiouses, your Mabalas and them, and then the breakaways that came from them, and then the mini-me's of those ones, and everybody that is now entered into the conversation, now you have someone who's like, Ayman. But I don't have to be, if you have someone like an Elaine that has come from a situation where, there wasn't necessarily, there might have been some backing, but there wasn't a major that came through and gave them a shot.
Yes, you see, independent backing.
So another person who's independent is also going to be like, Ayman, but I should also be considered in this conversation. And now you start to, you get this pushback. And this is a very much a revolutionary thing where you start to get this pushback that just starts to, it galvanizes by itself. Just by the sheer fact that there's people and we are angry. And if you get enough angry humans in one place, you know what happens? We revolt. It's a problem. So that's why I'm saying I feel like it's good because each year someone else gets angry. Now you've got Nadia Nakai who's angry. But if we had Nadia Nakai, Nadia Nakai 1, Nadia Nakai 2, Nadia Nakai 3, Nadia Nakai 4, maybe 7 or 8 of them that are now all vying for that same thing. And they're all like, Ayman, but surely now. Now the conversation is, we're not trying to silence Nadia Nakai and saying that she's pulling out the female card because she's female. Now you have 7, 8 other people who also deserve
what's going on.
Yes, because we have such a vibrant, growing industry, they must now also step up. And now you've got your Master KGs and them as well. They've got multiple people just like that. You've got all these huge platforms. They overshadow the summers. already. We've revolted now. So we are I see us slowly but surely moving to a place where either we force reform or we force some kind of change in the summer and the systems and all of that, and it becomes a little bit more transparent. Maybe transparency means them sitting down and explaining why. I feel like that's where the conversation can begin. And then from there, they can start having conversations with the public. Or that's one way. Or we go the other way and we just boycott. Straight up, we just boycott altogether. Everybody.
We could just do our own thing. I mean, Pori was crying, saying, I'm going to make my own awards. And then the minister of the industry, unofficially, Nota, was like, relax. Then there was this whole back and forth. You know what I mean?
But this is the start. These are the beginnings of what we need.
An alternative is definitely needed. An alternative is definitely needed. Because when people realize that the record deal was not the way, the independent culture grew. So when people are now going to realize that or decide that the awards are not the way, an independent culture will grow, or an alternative will grow from that. And I mean, if we can get to that point where we have a healthy, credible alternative, we are good as a country. It's good for our growth, because then now people can dream about more than one. That's why I feel like more developed industries have multiple ceremonies. Understand? They'll have a BT, they'll have a Nickelodeon, they'll have an MTV, they'll have a, you know what I mean? So we need to now grow beyond just Summer and Metro and SA hip hop. You know what I mean? So if we can add more to those things so that we can have outlets, you understand? Outlets. Because rap is not just one song, you know. That's why there's hip hop awards where it can be lyricists, they can be commercial, they can, you know what I mean.
Producer,
so if we can also be a producer. If we almost shared a very powerful idea that I had. Let me shut up. If we can now grow to be like, these are the Independent Artist Awards. You understand? This is a biased. Not a bias. This is a credible and open platform and award ceremony where the people can decide. You understand? That will have more weight, because right now, with all the artists that are bashing the Summers, it's losing credibility, and that's painful, because like the Summers are part of our culture. The Summers can't die. But if they don't give us a choice, they are going to die.
Exactly.
See what I mean? Yeah. If they don't give us a choice, the South African audience and entertainers are very powerful, bro. We are very powerful. Very, very powerful. That's why the brands can entrust us to sell work, because they know if Keenan says, yo, when you drink this, we are rocking. If all the artists can be like, yo, awards, we are there. No one goes to the Summers. No one backs the Summers, because the brands that are also working with the Summers want that audience. The audience is the currency. And for an audience that is such a massive currency not to be considered, that does not make sense.
That's true. Sure. Hey, bro, you're going to need to share that idea with me one day. Off air.
Yeah, obviously.
Off air. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree that now with the growth of the industry, as well as the growth of your influences, both your well-known influences as well as your micro-influences, where now you can't just shut us up. You can't just say, "Hey, man, we're not going to listen to those people. They're just going to keep on gobbling up what we give them." That type of thing.
Understand?
We are in a culture now where it's hard to watch the generation above me. It's hard to watch their influence get ripped from them. It's painful sometimes. I think maybe it's because I'm sitting in a generation between the ones who are doing the ripping of the power and the ones who thought they had power for a very long time. So it's nice to see. I like it, but it's not going to. People should just allow it to happen peacefully, like you're saying. Let us into the conversations. The younger, the youth, people below 20. I'm just going to say people below the age of 20 now. They speak up. when I was below 20, we didn't speak up. It was not the culture for us to we would just be like, okay, so things are bad. Maybe one day when I'm up there, I'll try and change things.
I'll try
and change things. But now people are speaking up. And if you don't listen to them, they will show you flames. And unfortunately, the people who are like, you guys think that you think you've got the influence. But now what's happening is when like you're saying, with the influencers, they have these big brands, and the big brands will follow the crowd. And if the crowd are the youth, then you've stuffed up already. You've stuffed up the crowd, therefore you've stuffed up the brand, you've stuffed up the whole thing. So you're gone, you're finished. So it's like a warning. It's a warning sign that they should heed. But I know what's going to happen. Your big wigs, they don't care. They don't care.
That's because they own all the infrastructure around the game. You understand? So they hold a radio in their hands, they hold TV in their hands. And we spoke about this in other episodes where that's the primary source of consumption. So once we get to a point where there's an independent SABC, there's an independent MultiChoice, or there's an independent whatever, that is content driven and not numbers driven. Our game is too much on the number side. It's good and bad, because if you've worked your way up to a massive following, it's great for you. Whereas if you are so genuinely talented, but you don't have 4 million followers, you won't shake things. You understand? You won't shake things. So we need to understand that without the artist, there's no industry. Without the audience, there's no artists. So for people who like who make your game, for you to base the whole setup on just your opinion, if there are no artists, your opinion means squat. You aren't judging anything. You understand? If there are no people submitting for your things, your opinion means squat. So you can judge whatever you want to judge on your own, at your own award show. No one there. You understand? Now you have an award show full of unknown people.
People are asking genuine questions like, who the hell is that? How did they get that?
You understand? So if the awards don't, not just firing at the Psalmers, if the awards don't take heed, they will be where radio is today, musically, because radio right now is an open secret that you need to be somewhat of a somebody to be on there. You understand? So if people have the same attitude about the awards, no one's gonna submit. Then it's gonna fall. You see, and we don't need that. So we just need to watch how we're moving as an industry, because like you're saying, the youth are coming in now. And if the youth are excluded, if the youth are not considered, if the youth are not represented, we do our own thing.
Exactly.
Your own thing. That's why the internet is hot now.
Bruh.
Your own thing.
And you know, it's so weird. I don't know. It gives away my age a little bit, but I watched it happen. I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole. I was there. I was like, hey, man, what's going on here? And the funny thing is, for those of us who were complaining, we were too early. For people like me, I got tired. My steam was blown at 2008, 2009. I was tired already. But then you see in 2012, I was like, okay, so something's going on here. 2014, 2008, we were big on SoundCloud. Everyone was using SoundCloud good 15 years ago. We were using it, but it wasn't what it is now. It dipped for a bit, then there was a complete resurgence because people got tired. They were like, where can we go?
People got tired.
They went back. Boom.
But yeah, man, I think we've fired at the Summers enough. In conclusion, I genuinely think I will not win a summer again or ever in my life because of this podcast. But people need to hear this. I feel like
you think they're gonna pull files?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we pulled out fucking Capasso files, boy. We took our asses here. We're out here, boy. So yeah, bro. I think just last point on my side, we need to really evaluate the structure of our industry because it's very flawed, but it's not too far gone. So it's flawed, but it's not at the point of no return. You know what I mean?
You can bring it back.
Yeah, we can bring it back if we just let fresh blood into the game, passionate blood into the game. Because right now, like I said, the game feels a bit too much on the number side. How many units are you selling? You're selling these units because you put this amount of money into your brand, then your brand hit this amount of outlets. And so in that whole mix, it's not really about, the culture and the love for the music anymore. It's about monetizing the brands and monetizing the artists themselves, where image again. I love how our past episodes are tying into everything. It's amazing. And now the image.
I can go back and watch the old ones.
Now go back and watch the old ones.
Yeah.
Where now the image has become more important than the craft. And that's really sad. But yeah, man, that's my 2 cents on it. We really needed this episode. And yeah, over to you, bro.
Yeah, man. I think just in closing, bro, I think people need to understand why they want what they want and why things are the way they are. Because then if you can answer those 2 questions, you'll be at peace. When things don't go your way, you'll be at peace. And if you want to change things, sharp, but you understand why you need to change them. And if you really want that award, sharp, you understand why. And then all those whys will tie back into what you do in terms of your actions. And maybe it'll then start changing your reaction. Maybe you won't have a knee-jerk Twitter response. You understand what move you need to make based on your why and how you understand the game. So I think for me, it boils down to education of yourself, but then also knowing knowing your motivations behind things. It helps bring you down. It helps just get you back to an area of peace.
Notify your music, guys. Notify your music.
Easy.
Come on.
Register with Risa. Simple things.
Register with Risa, man. Easy. Just do it. Do it. Don't cry on Twitter. Just do it. The Scale Podcast, episode 5. It's been lovely, brother. We out.
Peace.
Away.